CLM is often bought by legal, but framing it as a legal software doesn't tell the full story. For sales, only two things really matter. Finance isn't just about reconciling what happened, they're also using contracts to predict what will happen next. In other words, for IT, CLM isn't just another application, it's mission-critical infrastructure. Because when CLM is bought to fix one department's problems, its impact stays limited. But when it's deployed across the business, it becomes the operating system of the enterprise. Hi, I'm Gordon Thompson. Welcome back to another episode of the CLM Navigator series. For sales, only two things really matter. One, how fast can they close the deals? And two, how can they expand these accounts? First, sales needs to close faster, turning requests and quotes into signed contracts with as little friction as possible. If you're in a sales organization, you know that every 13 weeks we have to deliver results, which means that there's a lot of pressure to close quickly and in the quarter where you're forecasting. Second, sales needs to spot expansion opportunities, understanding relationship value, performance, and outcomes to drive upsell and cross-sell conversations. Because when sales can move quickly and see where value is being delivered, contracts stop being a blocker and start becoming the growth engine that every organization wants. So for the finance teams, the priority is control and predictability without slowing down how the business buys and sells. Finance teams need to collaborate early in contracting with both legal, procurement, sales, and delivery. So the right financial controls, terms, and guardrails are built into the contracts from the start. That's what helps reduce account governance cost, validating invoices, minimizing disputes, and shortening DSO cycles by ensuring contracts are clear, enforceable, and aligned to how billing actually works. Finance also depends on contracts to forecast spend and revenue accurately, using past and present contract data to make cash flow predictable, budgets reliable, and financial planning more precise. In other words, finance isn't just about reconciling what happened, they're also using contracts to predict what will happen next. Now let's talk about IT for a minute. IT isn't your typical CLM buyer, but they are very important to the CLM buying process. When another department like legal or procurement, sales initiates a CLM buying cycle, they act as a technical evaluator. They want to make sure that the business invests in a system that works for everyone. That means they're looking for a system that integrates seamlessly with their existing enterprise architecture, which includes your ERP system, your procure-to-pay, CRM solutions to support end-to-end processes across buying, selling, and delivery. IT also needs confidence that the platform meets enterprise security, data governance, and compliance standards from access controls to auditability to data residency and regulatory requirements. Finally, IT is thinking long-term. They need a system that scales with the business and adapts as the ecosystem evolves and doesn't create future technical debt. In other words, for IT, CLM isn't just another application, it's mission-critical infrastructure. So as we conclude today's episode, contracts don't belong to just one team. They sit at the center of the enterprise. So contracting software needs to be viewed in the same way. CLM is often bought by legal, but framing it as a legal software doesn't tell the full story. As we've seen today, every department depends on contracts in different ways. That's why buying CLM has to be a cross-functional decision involving legal, procurement, sales, finance, and IT. Because when CLM is bought to fix one department's problems, its impact stays limited. But when it's deployed across the business, it becomes the operating system of the enterprise.